All right, top of the morning. Buongiorno, it's your boy Big Rich. And Drake the weekly news. You know we got to do at least one article. Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful mothers around the world, all the good mothers, all the mothers that are proper mothers, right? The ones that discipline their children and do what they got to do to make sure that they raise up, that they raise their kids in a decent way. The hardest thing in the world is to be good parents. That's I've always said that. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers. Let's get right into business. I got a little bit of tangerine biscotti that I'm throwing in the atmosphere. Gentlemen, wipe your feet on the rugs. Throw some smoke in the air. And let's get right into business by the way of About the Mafia by the News. Manhunt underway for Ricky Barbaro over the death of Ellie Price. A manhunt is underway by police in Victoria, Australia for Ricardo Ricky Barbaro, 33, over the death of Ellie Price, 26. Miss Price's bruised and battered body was found in her South Melbourne townhouse by loved ones on Monday. Investigators have since confirmed that the body has been lying there for a week. Barbaro comes from a powerful and notorious Australian criminal organization with documented and well-known ties to the infamous Calabrian mafia, the 'Ndrangheta. The Barbaro family, which lives in Melbourne, Sydney, and Australia's Gold Coast, have a tragic history. Pasquale Timothy Barbaro and his younger sibling Rosario, 28, both died less than a year apart. Pasquale Timothy Barbaro, 35, and his younger sibling Rosario, 28, both died less than a year apart in 2016 and 2017. That's a picture of them on the screen right there. Rest in peace. They described themselves as lost angels, and amongst the tattoo coverings, almost their entire bodies, was the word malavita, which has a few meanings, but to them it meant bad life or evil life. There were 8 Barbaro siblings with one father, Giuseppe Joe Barbaro, and 3 different mothers, but it was Pasquale Paz Barbaro who embraced a criminal lifestyle. Paz was very involved in the Sydney drug trade and dealt with Hell's Angels, brothers for life, and served some time behind bars. He also wasn't known to be subtle about his wealth and ill-gotten gains and liked to flaunt himself around town in diamond jewelry and Versace shirts. At one point, he was known to be virtually living at the Dollhouse strip club in King's Cross. That's a picture of Pasquale on the screen right there. Someone who once attended one of his lavish parties at his mansion described it to Vice magazine. He had posters of classic Hollywood mafia characters and kept obsessively showing me his Instagram page. He kept comparing what we were doing with Instagram Playboy, Dan Bilzerian's post, and he was sending private messages to Ariana Grande saying he was going to take her out when she was in Melbourne. He was getting a lap dance surrounded by burly dudes, but he wasn't present. He didn't care. He wasn't satisfied. In 2015, Barbaro barely survived an assassination attempt as several bullets were fired at him. But barely a year later, the evil life caught up with him and he was gunned down on a Sydney street. Pasquale, the curse. After his death, former associates of Pasquale started describing him as a dog and believed he was a rat working with the local police. Immediately after his death, revenge porn images of his girlfriend, Chantal Baptista, started appearing online. It's believed that Pasquale was supposed to be going to her house later on that night, but obviously never made it. That's a picture of Chantal Baptista, looking gorgeous. About 6 months after Pasquale's murder, his brother Rosario committed suicide. He couldn't deal with his brother's murder, and described as Pasquale's shadow, he spiraled into a deep depression. The Barbaro family seems to have very bad luck with anyone they name Pasquale, to the point where they believe his name is cursed. Pasquale Peter Barbaro, 58, was shot to death in 1990. He was once the boss of the Canberra Mafia. That's a picture of Peter right there. Another Pasquale, Pat, was gunned down in Melbourne in 2003 during a mob turf war. He was gunned down with notorious crime figure Jason Moran. Yet another Pasquale, also a one-time boss, was arrested trying to import 4.4 tons of ecstasy into Australia in tins of tomatoes. He is currently serving a life sentence. Aware of his bloodied family history, now it seems like the evil life is catching up with Ricardo Barbaro. Police seem to be closing in on him as they announced Friday morning that they have found Miss Price's car in Diggers Rest, about 30-minute drive from northwest Melbourne, though Ricky Barbaro is still yet to be found. First of all, great story from about the mafia. That's a tragic family history with the Barbaros. It's insane. And I'm pretty sure we'll be getting more information about Ricardo Barbaro as he allegedly may be on the lam for this girl's murders. So, first of all, salute. You know how we do NWN. And did I get the weekly news, something that I created from my mind? Salute to everybody. Have a great Mother's Day. Respect and salute to everybody's mom. And we will talk soon.